Hey guys, Dr. Jamie Richards. I am here in the conference room at Extraordinary Life Chiropractic, and you're watching the Everything You Need to Know Spinal Show. Back to talking about structure and the importance of structure with the spine. So I brought our friend back onto the show today, and if we look at our friend, the spine, from the side view, this is something we all have in our body, is this spine, this movable set of bones that protects the wiring and encases the spinal cord. What we call this neural core is vital in the function of your body. It's something people don't think about. We don't think about our spine like an organ system, not like we would think about, say, the heart or the lungs or the kidney. Yet it functions that way, and it's a vital part of our body working the way it's supposed to. The ideal situation here is what we call stacking. So this is the back of your head. The skull would sit here. In an ideal situation, you'd have the ear, the shoulder, and then the hip, the knee, and the ankle, and the gravitational line running through those, and you'd have these curves. And so you see the cervical curve, which is the one we're looking at today. This cervical curve, or cervical lordosis, is a vital cog in this whole situation, simply because when the spine is stacked up and these curves are developed nicely, the spine acts like a spring. But you could imagine if we take these curves out, we bring the spine more upright, instead of the weight and the stress of gravity being placed on the proper areas, which is why the spine is developed this way, it gets placed on other areas, and that adds tension. It long-term can create deterioration and degeneration and can alter the nervous system both from the input side and the output side. So essentially, over the next few videos, we'll talk about what happens, but somewhere along the way, you lose the stability and position, and it's not so much that the spine just falls out of place. It's not something that happens in an instant in most cases, unless there's a severe injury and you have an outlier situation. What we're looking at is an ongoing deteriorative change over time. And so how does it get weakened? You could imagine somewhere along the way, the spine, instead of being stacked up and positioned, either loses its motion, which is very common, or it can lose its position. And the body, if we look at it from the front view, our eyes are stacked up on the shoulders and we continue to go down. Your body is not very excited about your head being in a tilted position. If you've ever tried to put your head in a tilted position, you'll naturally compensate to get yourself back so your eyes are on the horizon, or what we call the righting reflex. So if the spine had created a distortion or shift, and that alters the skull, and our eyes come off the center line of the horizon, our body will work through these compensations to get us back into normal. And sometimes those compensations actually mean changing the position of other areas of the spine, hence getting these changes elsewhere, which we'll see, a case where someone may come in and they believe that their problem is in a different area of their body, but it turns out that's just collateral damage to a change in another area of their body. So what'll happen is the spine will get weakened, and as you can imagine, the weaker the spine gets, the more the spine will drift in a forward or anterior direction. So if we take the skull and we move it in a forward direction, you can see what happens to the cervical curve. And I'm making an extreme example here, but the cervical curve will start to lose its cervical lordosis, or its C-shaped curvature at the top, and start to fall forward. And we'll see that big anterior head shift in people, not just as we age, but if there's an actual structural problem that's happening. It could be in a teen, could be in one of our younger people. Again, the longer that's there, the more change that's going to happen, the more it's going to affect somebody's health. So that's really the goal in a biostructural restorative office, in a corrective care office, is, does this actually happen? What does this look like? Have we measured this? And our experience is that many of our cases where this is the primary issue, when that's corrected or is changed, at least in a positive direction, there's a lot of other really significant positive other health benefits that come along with that. So if you have any questions, post them below. I'll do my best to answer. And next week we'll talk more about this cervical curve and why it's such an important piece of the puzzle. Make it a great day.